I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. My name is Tyler Mitchell, and I'm a part of the Youth Advisory Council. And we also have our friends.
Yes, my name is Lawrence. I'm also part of the Youth Advisory Council here with you today.
Hey, my name is Manuel. I'm part of the Youth Advisory Council too.
And today we are here with a special guest, Chris. He's a part of the build industry, and we're going to let him give a brief synopsis of what he do. So, Chris, take it away.
Sure. My name is Chris. I'm the founder and executive director of an organization, a nonprofit organization here in Baltimore called For My City. Our focus is environmental sustainability through the diversion of food waste. I launched this program in October of 2018. We've been going strong and building since. We've done over 135 million pounds of food. Diverted to families facing hunger and right here in the Maryland, Baltimore area and across like 18 states during the peak of COVID. So, excited to be on and, hopefully I could share some knowledge with everybody and, we can have some fun.
So I look very forward to learning more about the industry, but we have a quick icebreaker. You can answer, people can answer in the chat. Which do you prefer, console or PC? Which do you prefer?
PC for me.
Yeah, my gang, bro. Yeah, I like it. Why would you choose PC over console?
So a little bit of history. I mean, I'm not into computers much now, but I did study. I'm old school, man. I'm like 41 years old, so I'm back doing PCs and stuff. Just came out, so you just get used to using PCs. I had my MCSC certification, I had my A+ certification, so I did programming and stuff back in the day. So when you're a PC guy, you're a PC guy. Like there's nothing that can that can change that.
Yeah, definitely feel that there. PC for life for me. Even just out of games, it's just much more convenient than a straight up console because you can work on a PC.
Yes,
you can even just stream stuff on a PC. Consoles are more like limited to only video games.
Yeah. So more versatility is good.
Yeah. People in the chat are also saying PC. Some of them said PC with controller, which is also something smart. There's some games that you should play with console, with controller, just like Fall Guys, stuff like that. But yeah.
So diving more into your field.
Yeah, you had spoken on versatility, and so my question is, what lessons has your job taught you overall to teach versatility?
So overall, you have to be able to adapt to situations, right? And I think with what we're doing here in the nonprofit world, we just came through COVID. We came through, a crazy time here in America over the last few years. I mean, having versatility in the operations, which For My City has, having the ability to change things, deal with certain situations as they pop up. You look at like the restaurant industry, a lot of those people had to like switch to DoorDash, switch to delivery, switch to carry out methods, switch to, no in-house cooking and no in-house dining. So, the ability to create a versatile, something that can use or a system that can utilize different things, different aspects. I think it's important now. You can't just kind of stick to one thing anymore in life. You got to have something that's a little bit more versatile. You can switch modes and use it for different different things to advance the opportunity.
Yeah, especially during these times because
So I mean, like you talked about a PC and you talked about some of the different things you can use a PC for, right? You can use a PC for work, you can use a PC for Zoom, you can use a PC for a lot of different things, right? To even just like type a letter and print it, right? So, when you think about versatility, consoles, you can't do some of those things, right? Like you can't save a document as a PDF on a console, correct? So, so having a PC, you have that versatility where you can play with it and have fun with it, you can work with it, or you can use it for personal gain, also financial gain. So versatility is always important.
I definitely agree, because I think we're entering something called what I'd call an adaptive economy. Yes. Unless you stay moving and constantly like shifting, then you're gonna fall under. And
Yeah,
it's
you're gonna stay, you're gonna fall behind, and that's something that you're looking at a lot of businesses that are failing now. um that's what they're doing. They're falling behind a lot, even like our school system, right? You guys are going to school and stuff. Our school system is so behind with times right now. We're still teaching old school stuff instead of really teaching kids now, like how to adapt in this technology driven world.
Yeah, and it's a
hit the
lot
nail
of
on the head.
yeah, and a lot of things in school is like they make it straightforward. You sit down in the
Right.
classroom, but this world is just you got to be a lot more flexible
Right.
now.
So,
School doesn't focus
we
on
shouldn't be.
conceptual learning.
I mean, I get it's important to write with pen and paper and books and stuff, but our school
Yeah,
should be like more teaching typing, right? And
yeah,
skills to
Yeah.
utilize, faster typing skills on a computer, faster access. Teach me how to use an iPad and understand an iPad and understand computers stuff in school now. So we're a little bit behind on stuff like that. Like you just said, you got to be more. You got to create more versatility
Mhm.
in our educational system, and that's kind of where it starts.
yeah. So, what would you say like piqued your interest the most that led you to go into your field?
So I said a little bit about my history, but I'll kind of go back a little bit so you understand what got me here. I moved to the U.S. in 1998. Immigrant from Trinidad and Tobago. I moved here with like $500 in my pocket. That was it, right? Like that's how I came here. I jumped on a plane. I said, "Look, I want a new challenge." So I moved here. Started to work, build my businesses. I had an import export businesses, janitorial, construction business. And my last business was I manufactured my own line of speedboats, fun line of, mini speedboats, made a lot of money, had cars, had, the girls, had the life. But I wasn't happy, right?
Right.
And I always tell people you go through like four stages in life. You go through, the struggle stage, which is where many people just like your youth, you're growing up, you're going to school, you're just like struggling, right? Like you're broke, you have no money, like your parents, you got to ask your parents for everything. So I call it struggle, right? And then you get on to the next stage in life, which is like sustainability. That's where now you graduated college or you graduated school, you have a job, and you're kind of just sustaining in life, right? You're paying your bills, you're doing what everybody expects you to do in life. The next stage really is success. 1 or 2% make it here, right? Now everybody's success level is different, but it's still, the premise is still the same. Where you feel very comfortable in your life, you feel like you've accomplished everything, you feel like you don't have to prove anything to anybody else, and you're happy, right? That's what we call success, right? Some people find that at different levels. Some people need to have the mansion and the jets and the Prada and the Gucci and stuff to feel
Yeah.
successful. And then the last stage where very few people really achieve is significance. And
Mhm.
significance is like when you find your calling, when you're extremely happy, where nothing else in this world kind of like makes you feel the way you're feeling about your life. And that's where I'm at now. So when I had my success, like I said, I had the fast cars, had you name it, the type of car I had, the Lambos, the Ferraris, the all that stuff, the speedboats. But I wasn't happy, right? Like I wasn't happy because, like I said, I lost touch with who I was when I first came here, which was this young broke kid
Yes.
that was happier because I used to still help people and do different things. So I had to find something. I wanted to find something where I can give back and really build back that significance in my life. So I wanted to do something that was going to help people and change people's lives. So food is a connector. I love to eat. In Trinidad, we love to eat and host. So food is a connector. And as a country, we waste about 40% of the food we produce. So I figured, like, okay, let me develop something around that realm, right? Where I can divert some of that food we're wasting, get into the hands of families that are facing hunger, and we can try to help, enrich their lives that way. But I didn't want to stop there. Environmental sustainability is a huge thing. Climate action is a huge thing right now in our society, and food waste is a major contributor to that thing. So I wanted to like really close the loop on some of those other things too. So now, like I said, we've done over 135 million pounds of food. We put out about 100,000 pounds of food every single day into the communities. We do a lot of stuff for the kids, like mentoring and book bags and school supplies and toys for Christmas. So, now I've kind of found my significance, and that is really helping people and trying to elevate others now into where I was in my life.
Yeah, and you talk very deeply about how you found significance now, but it's like sometimes people only see like when a person is successful or finally found that significance, but they don't. Some people don't acknowledge how hard it takes to get there.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, it's very, it's very difficult, and I'm glad you brought that up, man. I mean, sharp kid. People see the success, right? Like they see the fast cars, they see everything, but they don't realize the struggles. I've been divorced twice. I do have 3 kids. I see my kids maybe 3-4 hours a day just to say, hey, good night, put them to bed. I have a daughter that's getting ready to go to college now, and and realistically, if we count years of the time I've spent with her, it's maybe 2, right? And that's me being realistic. So sometimes people don't see the sacrifices you make in order to be that level of success. You got to put in work. You got to grind. Even for my city now, like I go to bed like 3 in the morning. I'm up at 6 a.m. Constantly working. My phone's constantly working. Where it's a challenge, and it's a sacrifice you have to make. And that's why I say, like, as young people, the first thing you want to do is really understand where you want to go in life. And like I always tell people, write down the challenges that you think you're going to face, and read it every day, and understand that that's the sacrifice you're going to sign up for. So if you're a person that's going to say, man, I like going to the beach, or I like doing this, I like spending time here, and if the career path you're choosing is going to affect that, then you need to revisit that and really think about what you're looking to do.
Yeah, and it's like sacrifice is just such a a
Yep.
deep word, because it's you got to give you something you enjoy, or something of yourself, to try to achieve something you
Exactly.
really want.
I'm a firm believer of the law of equivalent exchange, even though not even just in general. If you're going to accomplish something, you're going to have to sacrifice something,
You're
because
gonna
those
you're
who
gonna
are
have to
doing
give up something. Trust me, something is gonna
Yes.
something is going to be given up, and if you're like a parent, a youngster, where you don't have kids, then you're going to give up some free time, right? You're going to give up some friends. I've lost a lot of friends, right? Like they always say, a bus has 50, a Bugatti has 2, right? Like that's the old saying. Like you're
Yeah.
going to lose a lot of friends along the way. So understand that sacrifice and be willing to accept that sacrifice is
Yeah.
always the first step.
Your whole life can really be based on just taking and taking and taking. At some
Yes.
point
Yep.
of your life, you have to like give something back to. It can be your family, your friends, people who was there to help you, coworkers. It can be whoever, but at some point you have to give like something back.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
and nowadays, building, the building field is just so important. And you see, especially like in school, you see a lot of young engineers who, they inspire to be that. How would you like? How do you build that work ethic to like get through those challenges, just academically? Some people may feel like they just don't have like math or
Mhm.
things that come with engineering, but they really want to, push and strive for that. How would you like
So,
build
so
work?
I always say, passion is always going to be a number one motivator, right? Like you find something you love, and all the other obstacles are going to kind of like way their, kind of disseminate their own selves. So, if you're into architecture and you hate the math, then find a way to get through the math, right? Like find a
Yeah,
way to do
right.
that. Like, and it's funny you say that, because I love computers and I hate math, right? Computer science, math is a whole big part of
They
it.
go
So,
together.
you
Yeah.
know, so so you have to find a way to get through it, right? Like find something else fun. So if it's going to be doing math on if you're doing architecture and doing math on the computer screen, find a program that can make you do that, right? And I always say, the best way to always be successul is find the laziest person in the field and see how they do it, right? And that's what I've always done. Like when I manage businesses and people say, well, how that employee is so lazy, I said, okay, then look at what he's doing the best, right?
Yes.
And copy that role, because a lazy person, believe it or not, will always teach you something, right? So
Yes.
they'll always teach you something. So there's always some video of somebody doing math that's a shortcut. So Google it, right? Like Google shortcut to math, and you'll trust me, you'll find a way. And with technology now, there's so much avenues that you can overcome some of these obstacles. So, the easiest way to overcome some of these obstacles is don't close your mind to others helping you.
Mm-hmm.
There's some question in the chat. What are your career interests? There's some people saying information technology, architecture, or engineering, or childcare. I think those are pretty nice. What do y'all think?
I think, as he was saying about being like open minded, that just goes back to versatility and flexibility. How you
Right.
gotta, some people you gotta learn how to let some things in. Some people like if I want to be an engineer, right? If somebody want to be an engineer, but the only thing they don't like is math, they think that everything you gotta know how to do it's like you gotta be perfect at every single thing. If that one thing that you don't like is involved in what you want to do, then you just gotta.
Career path, and I have a daughter that's getting ready to college. She's going to go to Penn State, and when we talk about career paths, right? Like I'm seeing some of the chat. I can't see the full chat, but one of the things that you want to look at is, again, when we discuss by looking at your challenges, right? Just look at your challenges. Look like, okay, if you're happy as a designer, right, and that's what you want to do. Understand, or architecture, let's use architecture, right? If architecture is your passion, understand that for a good 10 years, you're not going to make money, right? Like, you're going to be interning, you're going to be learning, you're going to be doing education, you're going to be doing that, right? So if that's the career path you want to go, understand for the first 10 years, you're going to grind, and you're going to take some BS, and you're going to have to like humble yourself and really push some paper, right, before you get into that take that next step. So evaluate where you are currently in life and the avenue or the roadmap that you want to take, and be realistic with yourself what that roadmap is going to be, right? Now, if you're like an artist and graphic designer, now your opportunity, because of like the current market, right, with social media, with TikTok, with internet, with all these different things, if you're an artist or a graphic designer, an architect, like, you could post something on TikTok or something, and it can catch up today, and you could be having 1 million views and making thousands of dollars within a month, right? So so understand where you are and understand the industry that you're trying to get into. And if you're passionate about it, the sky's the limit. I mean, just again, understand the challenges and the roadmaps. And now with in the internet and all these social media platforms, I mean, any avenue you go to is going to have challenges, but it's always going to be the amount of work you put in.
Like you can really expect stars as soon as you start on something, right?
Exactly. Yep.
It's like something logical, like everything's gonna go step by step. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah. And something I always tell the youths I mentor is everybody's pace is different. Everybody's pace is different. So never judge your progress to someone else's progress. And go at your pace, go at a pace you're comfortable with that, and put those blinders on and stick to your roadmap. Write down your roadmap, stick it on your wall, stick it on stick it on your phone, and stick to your roadmap. Don't ever judge someone else's progress, because remember, everybody's situation is different. They may have a rich uncle, they may have a rich aunt, they may have somebody they know that kind of give them that boost. So you can say, oh well, I've been doing this for 2 months, they've been doing it for 2 months, and they got elevated. You know what? That's fine. Maybe they had a push, right? So you keep progressing. And you keep knocking on doors and doing what you want to do, and you'll get there also. So never judge your roadmap against someone else's roadmap. Stick to your roadmap. The biggest mistake we make in society today is we judge. We look at each other and see where they are in life, instead of saying, let me just stick to my plan.
Yeah, and another thing is, people often a term my mom uses is judging a fish by its climbing ability.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where somebody can be fantastic at art, but not good at math.
Exactly.
And then the teacher who is teaching math is going to be like, oh, you're not good at whatever. So generalizes as you are not good at specific.
Yeah. And another thing with that,
you can't be good or bad at something. They can just attempt and have a good or bad outcome. But people aren't scalars.
Yes.
People are vectors.
And that's a good thing, right? Is I think with social media and these things, it's a great platform, but it's also a lot of fakeness out there, right? So you'll see the people that say they're successful and they're really not, right? Like it's a persona, it's just a facade just to kind of get likes and get people to buy into their project. And then you see the people that, I know multimillionaires that are humble. Like you see them, they're in a t-shirt, they're in a jeans, they're driving a little Kia, and you never know they're humble, but they can give you the best advice, right? So, never just like you just said, never just judge the book by the cover. Kind of, I always tell people, man, just put your blinders on, stick to your path. That's the best advice I could ever. Create your roadmap, understand where you are in life, understand the challenges you're gonna face, and just stick to your roadmap.
Yeah. Someone in the chat, Tyresha McClinley, asked, how do you take care of yourself with all the work you have?
Mm.
You gotta find your hobby. Find something that you're passionate about and kind of incorporate it in what you do. So, like for me personally, I am passionate about like helping people and advancing sustainability. So I just like designing stuff. So like I like crypto, so I'm bringing like crypto into the nonprofit realm. I'm trying to incorporate crypto into what we're doing as far as collecting food waste and doing these different things. So a good way to to really not stress about the workload is to incorporate stuff that you are passionate about into your work.
Yeah,
I definitely agree there. I'm in a similar situation with like I'm a political science major,
Right.
and it's enjoyable, but I'm also really interested in physics, though I don't like the math part. And so my thing is, I try to take a systems perspective in physics, so
Right.
that I still understand the concepts, just in a different layer, like
Exactly.
getting rid of the math part.
yeah. And I see
Yep.
somebody in the comment, sunflower plant, time
Mhm.
management, and time is a important thing.
Time is gold. Yeah.
It could go, it goes so by so fast. So have you ever felt like you spoke about your great passion? Have you ever felt like overwhelmed? Were there ever any doubts on the path you was
Oh,
walking?
always, man. I mean, look, the sun is not always shining, man. There's days the clouds are blocking it, right? So yeah, there's days you put your head down and you want to quit. There's days that you go home and you're beat and everything hurts, and you still got to carry on, right? Like as a father with three kids, you always have to be there for them and show strength. But yeah, there's days behind the closed doors that you're beating your head against that wall and saying, man, can I continue this? Can I continue to go on? Time management is critical. What I could say on that is when you have those moments, you shut down, right? Like
Yes.
you detach and you take an hour and you relax and you rest. And what I've learned over the years is, you have to, have your de-stress time. So, when you're feeling overwhelmed, take an hour. The world is not going to stop. All your problems are not going to stop. They're still going to be there for you tomorrow. But take a few minutes, detach, and like I grew up in the Caribbean, so the ocean is huge for me. I have a place in Miami, and when I'm here in Baltimore, I go right down to the Hanover Bridge down there. And I just look at the harbor. I put a chair and I just detach. I turn my cell phone off and I just get some quiet time. So, you have to make that time to detach yourself from everything else that's going on. I think that's the most important time management skill you can incorporate in your schedule is that detachment time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thinking.
I love the fact that you call it, I guess, detachment time, because I feel like people are often the most stressed people are the people who are most immersed in
Yes.
reality,
Yep.
where they have all these focuses and are looking at all these angles because they feel so hyper fixated on it. And they feel like that's their
Exactly.
reality. But people need to take a second to like breathe and realize that we're all in our heads perceiving reality, and we have to like, if we can't get that semblance of peace from outward, we have to try to find it inward.
Yeah.
Right, and I think the biggest issue with that right now is, as young people, is the connectivity with social media, right? Like you miss a
Yeah.
post on Twitter, and then in an hour, it's down 500, like Twitter feeds. So like you feel like you're missing something when in reality you're not, right? Because that information is there. You can go back and you can find it, right? So the fact that people think that like we're missing, like my daughter. I always use my daughter as an example because she's kind of like like my roadmap to life in a way also, like as a parent. she loves Snapchat and like always watch her in Snapchat. But like when we have daddy daughter time, like she'll have to get off her phone for an hour, and I do the same. And then we challenge each other, like who's going to look at their phone first, right? So you have to find different things to do that. So as kids, I mean, you can even play that game with your friends. Like here's our detached time. The first person to touch their phone or post a Snapchat or post an Instagram, you have to buy everybody in the group lunch, or you have to buy ice cream, or whatever the case may be. So you can challenge your friends and challenge the people that you're close to on a daily basis to have that time or take that mental break.
Yeah, and that mental break, because we were speaking about social media. Some people value other people validation rather than
Exactly.
self
Mhm.
validation.
Self-validation. They
Wow.
Yeah.
look for acceptance from other people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when you have that, as you call it, detachment time, you realize like what's really important. And like
Exactly.
passion comes from yourself, what you want to do, your own ambition. But some people confuse it with other people's wishes. Like there's some people who just want to be an engineer because people
Their
told
parents
them,
told them,
their
yeah,
parent told them they should be an engineer.
Exactly.
you don't wanna be a lawyer, but your mother forced you to be a lawyer because it's the best job in quotes.
And as you're saying stuff like that, man, I hear that a lot from the kids we mentor, and like I always tell them, I was like, have that open conversation with your parents. One of the biggest things I feel like kids nowadays are afraid to talk to their parents.
Yeah,
And you have to remember too, as parents, we're learning also. We're learning to deal with you as a great person. And if you're like a first kid or the only kid, then it's more challenging than if you've had other kids, right? So don't be afraid to like confront your parents and stand to your parents and say, hey, can we discuss this? Can we really talk about this? Because I think I have some strong feelings about what my passion is, and I really think that we should really understand each other,
Yeah,
because that's the only way that they can help you along that path. And I think like a lot of people are just afraid to talk to their parents because they say, well, oh, my dad is strict, or my dad is whatever. I grew up military, and I think I'm like the strictest parent there is out there. But my daughter can talk to me about anything.
yes.
yeah. Do you agree? A certain age that no one knows what's best but yourself.
I don't think you can ever be at that age.
Not like I think I phrased it wrong. No one knows what's best for yourself than yourself.
I think there's a little bit of truth to that statement, but again, like, I'll go back to my original answer. I don't think you'll ever know, like what's
Yeah.
best for yourself, because that always changes, right? So, like for instance, you're walking down the street today, and you get disabled, and you may have to change your whole
Hmm.
like lifestyle and where you think, right? Or you lose your job, and that field, you may not even want to go back into that field again. Or you're going to school and you're studying something and you think you're really passionate about this, but then something else comes along and you're like, holy crap, this is really exciting,
Yeah.
right? And you
Yeah.
may have to reevaluate yourself again. So I think that's something that I always challenge you. I said, don't lock into one stuff. Like we were talking about versatility earlier, like always keep options open, right? Like commit 98% and leave 2% for the imagination. It's what I
Yes.
always say, right? It's commit
Yes.
98%, leave 2% for the imagination. Because I think a lot of people fail is when we lock into this and we get so systematical and so analytical that we lock into this process and we lose the imagination, right? And like for me, starting back with For My City, I regained the kid in me, right? Because before I was like business strict, like I gotta succeed, I gotta have a plan, I gotta have this, and I lost the kid in me. And I always say, never lose the kid in yourself. I
Yeah.
think that's your, and why I say that is that when you think about a child, is they do stuff relentlessly without understanding the consequences, right? Like when my kids, like let's say a kid's learning to walk, they get up and they fall, but they know it hurts, right? Like they fall,
Yeah.
it hurts, but guess what they still do? They still get back up, right?
Yeah.
When you tell a kid, hey, no candy for you, what they're gonna come back next 5 minutes and ask for candy again, right? They're gonna
Yes.
keep asking and saying, so you have to take life the same way and understand that you're going to face all different type of challenges in life. You're going to meet all different type of people and all different type of personalities, and you're going to have to adapt to these situations. So always have that flexibility in your plan.
Yeah, and it's like
That's a brilliant point. I had recently read something that was like the reason that kids are better at learning instruments than adults is because they don't care if they suck at if they sound
Exactly. Yep. And adults,
because
they
they'll
pay
just keep
attention
on
to the
doing it until
sound.
they sound good.
Right. And adults, we pay attention to the sound instead of paying attention
Hyper-aware.
to the lesson. And,
yeah,
and kids, they pay attention to the lesson instead of paying attention to the sound. So, and that's what I mean. It's like always never lose the kid in you, because the kid teaches us how to actually go through life, which is to always have that open mind.
yeah.
Children are the masters of their own delusion.
Yeah, Lester in the comments says children are resilient, fearless, and creative.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And, and it's like one of the major things, like I guess, like as an adult, maybe people like they're scared to fail, so scared to fail that they won't
They
even
don't even
try
try.
anything.
Exactly.
You haven't failed until you stop trying.
Yeah,
Right.
Failure is the best teacher, in my personal opinion.
And that's it. The best teacher is life. Like there's no better teacher.
It can be harsh, but it's a
anything
teacher
in
after
life.
all.
It's the realest teacher that you're gonna have. It's the one that's gonna be the most honest with you, because when it hits you, it's gonna hit you. So the best teacher is always life.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you're gonna face a lot of challenges in life. Just keep on going. And like I always say, man, have that plan. Don't be afraid to reevaluate your plan as things go in, and always commit that 90%. Leave the 2% for imagination.
Yeah. So just wrapping up, because we really do appreciate your time. What would you say is the biggest misconception, whether in your field or in life, and what would be the biggest tip that you would give somebody who was in your position of, not having too much money, or having self-doubt?
I mean, the biggest misconception I think in life is that you can't change your stripes, right? Like you can't change your surroundings, you can't change your environment. Like you're stuck in this environment, and that you can't. As kids, no matter what it is, I think like people feel like I was born into this struggle. I was born into this place. Like I can't get out of it. Like this is who I was meant to be. And you can, and one of like my guidance with that is you create your own path. Like I always tell people that you create your own path. You can dig yourself out of any situation, with your mindset, and there's always someone out there that's gonna help you.
Yes.
That's something that people always say. Well, no one's gonna help me. I'm in this alone. I can guarantee there's always going to be someone out there that's going to be ready to listen. And I think that's something that people are afraid of. They're afraid to like open up and be, vulnerable. Just say, hey, look, I need help, right? And because they have pride, and pride kills, right? Like pride kills dreams. And somebody else say pride kills dreams. So don't be afraid to ask for help. There's always going to be someone out there to listen. And I would say that the more no's you get is the closer yes you're coming to, right? So don't let the no's discourage you. The more no's you're gonna get in life is the closer you're gonna get to that next yes. So keep pushing. Don't let the idea of like you're born into this and this is the life that you're gonna have keep you down, man. Keep pushing, keep to your plan, keep to your vision. And understand that there's going to be someone that's going to help you out there. And when in doubt, you can always reach out to me. I'll always listen. I'll give you as much guidance. Guidance with me is free, so like I always give you as much guidance as possible.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. Nobody in this world can do everything alone, but we have people who can help us throughout the way.
Yeah.
See a couple of good comments.
There are a couple of great comments from the question: how do you keep an open mind and adapt to challenges? Sean Dates had said, become mentally strong. Staying to open new ideas and experiences can help you become a stronger, more vibrant person. I very much agree.
Yeah.
I so agree. And Terry Bell Williams had also said, that's why young people need to stay pushed to experience the lessons through failures early. And yes.
Exactly.
Like I think maintaining an open mind is realizing that everybody is seeing but a fragment of reality, and no fragment is the same.
Exactly.
And so
Great
you can't
point.
assume.
Great point. Yep. We see, like I always tell people, most people post the best part of their life on Instagram and on social media, right? You don't see the rest of the stuff that happens on a day-to-day basis. So, like you just said, that's just a fragment of reality. That's just that moment of their happiness. You don't know what else is going on. So never let those things kind of discourage you. And like we just talked about, mental health. Mental health is huge, and like taking that time to detach yourself from everything else that's going on, and you breathe, you find your hobby, whether it's like reading a book for a moment or something. And I don't even recommend that, right? Like I still feel like that's a chore. Like I said, like I go and I just sit and I watch the ocean, or I watch the the harbor. Like to me, that's, you're not doing anything, right? You're not adding anything into your mind other than creating a moment. And that's what I mean by that detachment time. It's find something that's going to create a moment of joy in your life, not another task. And that's why they say, well, I want to play a video game, I'm going to read a book. That's creating a task, right? That's different from creating a moment. A moment is a moment of joy that's going to add like a clouded, nice, joyful memory in your head. If you're playing a video game and you died, and that's like, oh shit, I'm playing this game, it's tough now, I just died, right? Like, that's adding another task or adding another instance. You don't want that. You just want that free moment of just, peace and quiet and tranquility.
Yeah,
and the moment would more so, even if games come with the friends than the game itself.
Yep,
like
exactly.
The moment comes with the interactions, or at the very least, a semblance of, I think I'm going to remember this. It's the little things,
right.
The things that you don't think you're going to remember in the moment, you end up doing.
Yeah. And it's like, the main thing is, you always want to keep that happiness with you. Even, when the path is tough, you never want to forget, as you said, that kid in you, that you have, this passion of yours, of your own doing. You want to have fun with the hard work. But thank you so much, Chris. Thank you for coming and speaking to us. I really enjoyed our conversation. And thank you for taking a day out of your time to talk to us.
You're welcome. If you guys want to volunteer at the organization, feel free to come around to Baltimore, man. Look it up. formycity.us is the website. Check us out and feel free. I'm always there. I'm always willing to speak to the youth and help you guys in any way possible I can.
Thank you so much. I hope you have an awesome day, and stay safe. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. You guys.
Oh, the last few comments are Sunflower Plant says failure builds character. Absolutely agree.
Yes.
And Keontae Sampson says, I keep an open mind by learning and adapting new ideas, planning, and maintaining enough personal time for myself to remain mentally well.
Beautiful.
Exactly.
The game of it.
Yes.
Great point.
Yes. So thank you.
That's a brilliant note to end on.
Thank you so much. And
stay safe, everybody.
and enjoy the rest of your
day.